I'm really excited about the book and Be Like Rachel, and also meeting the author and the illustrator. And I have a couple questions about this whole process. Because your background is an art instructor for many, many years, and what motivated you to write a book?
Well, actually, I was a teacher for 38 years,
38 years.
And I actually taught through the arts, but was not really an art teacher, but taught through the arts. So I incorporated art into almost everything. I used dance, poetry, art, and we did our regular subjects like that. What motivated me to do this? Well, I brought a little quote with me, Jennifer, that sort of sums things up. And it says, change your, I don't know who said it, but change your character and you will change your destiny. If you change yourself, you can change the world. That really was my motivation for Be Like Rachel, Lessons of Character from Women of the Bible. Because as a teacher, I've always been concerned with how do we raise a spiritual and moral child? In today's society, it becomes more and more difficult, especially with our girls. What are their role models? Is it Hollywood? Certainly not. You know, is it some of our sports figures? Maybe a few. Is it in politics? I'm not sure about that. So, you know, young girls think that what's important, it seems to me, what's important is being beautiful and being a size 0. And so I wanted girls in particular to know that character is what defines them, not appearances.
Right, and as I was reading the book, I did pick this up for my granddaughters. We have 6 grandchildren, as you all know, at home, and 4 of them are girls. I picked up 2 books, actually, because I wanted them to know about leadership and about courage and about the virtues of forgiving and forgiving yourself. And as I started to read through the book, each page was a story, but below each page there was an activity that made sense.
Really a lesson.
Yes, a lesson. And it was very appropriate for today, talking about bullying, talking about how we treat each other, kindness, inclusiveness.
Actually, if I may interrupt for a second, Jennifer, the reason this cover was, thank you so much, the reason this cover was chosen is because the cover is about Rachel from the Bible, and really the matriarchs of the Bible were just used as a vehicle to teach these lessons of character, and yet there's a lesson about each one. But the reason Rachel was chosen is because Rachel's story is about kindness. You know, I have the story of the women going around their portraits. There's Jacob waiting on her shoulder for 14 years for her. There's the angel and the baby. And what man waits for a woman for 14 years unless she had something beyond beauty? And perhaps that was kindness. Thank you.
And the original is right here in front of you, Jennifer, for the book cover.
And these pictures are not lithographs, they're actual multimedia.
They're mixed media.
Mixed media.
Yes.
Talk to us about it.
Okay. I have 13 paintings in the book. I'll be displaying these at Judy's show. Mixed media is using a whole lot of different materials to create your painting. This up here is a mixed media as well. This is not in the book.
Right.
But it's also...
For example...
Yeah. Throughout the book, I tried to be consistent, and there's sort of a patchwork background with the symbols and things of the story, and the portrait done on top of that. So mixed media is just using a variety of materials to create your art.
You have a lot of hidden pictures in your
I
pieces.
do. There's a lot of
like
symbolism. Exactly, Judy. There's a lot of symbolism in my paintings, and in terms of the matriarchs of the Bible, the story in symbols goes around the women.
Well, it also talks about the complexity of life, the complexity of all of us.
Right.
And that it's not easy, but with faith you can get through this.
Exactly. And really, it wasn't any different for the matriarchs of the Bible than it is now. When you read some of their lives, some of them read just like a soap opera, actually.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah. Not very different from a lot of our lives.
Right, right.
So
right.
they had similar trials and tribulations.
So what came first, the written word or the picture?
That's interesting.
Good
Because,
question.
Yeah, a very good question. A hard question, Jennifer. I've always been a writer, and I've always been an artist. In this case, it was kind of a little bit of both. I knew that I wanted to write something about this. I was very disturbed, as I told you, about the lack of heroines and the lack of examples of character in our society, particularly for young girls. Mm-hmm. And so I think really I started painting first, but I was writing as I was painting. So they kind of worked together.